Hi everyone, welcome to Dundas Dashboard How-To videos. This video is on dimensions. This video will discuss what are dimensions, what are they used for, and the difference between instant dimension and standard dimension. Now, let's get started. This is the typical workflow of Dundas. Data connector, virtual table, KPI dataset, and dashboard. The dimension fits in between virtual table and KPI. A dimension can be thought of as a collection of categories that are used in conjunction with the KPI datasets to perform data filtering, grouping, and sorting, typically arranged in a hierarchy style. Dimensions by default are instant dimensions. The developer can choose to create a standard dimension to replace the instant dimension. The instant dimension and the standard dimension should contain the same data to be replaced successfully. The instant dimension is used by default and typically used in situations that are specific to the immediate KPI or dataset. Standard dimension can be created and used in situations where a data column should show more user-friendly values. Standard dimensions are typically used to be placed in multiple KPIs or datasets so that a single user controllable filter can affect several controls on the dashboard. Standard dimensions are also known as existing dimension, full dimension, and regular dimension. Now, let's see how we can create a standard dimension and replace the instant dimension with it. Here is our current KPI. As we can tell, the ID code isn't user-friendly at all. So what we would like to do is create a standard dimension and replace it with our existing dimension to make the variables more user-friendly. To create a standard dimension, hover over dimension, click on the ellipse button, and click New Dimension. Give it an appropriate name. Select which virtual table you want to use. Select which fields are going to be used in the dimension. In our case, it will be ID code and friendly name. Click Finish. Let's go over what is what first. The General tab consists of general information that the developer may want to add. Level definition is where we can define our structure of the dimension. Custom sort rules is where we can design a custom sorting if needed. And preview is where we can see how everything is put together. Let's go to the level definition, as this is where most of the time will be spent. A quick layout of this tab is, this is where we can add an extra level to our dimension, i.e. create a hierarchy structure. This is the name of the level. These are the fields in the level. These are the related columns, which will only appear when there are multiple levels. And this is the display and sorting. In our specific scenario, we want the key to be ID code, which it is, but use the display name of our friendly name column instead, which it is. However, it could have been ID code as well. Let's go to the Preview tab to ensure it looks the way we want it to look. It seems to be alright here, so let's save and check it in. Let's navigate to our KPI. Let's go to the Dimensions tab. And if we did everything right, we should see an extra option under the action, which is replace field with an existing regular dimension. This will only appear on those dimensions where a standard dimension can be replaced. So let's click on this button. a pop-up will appear that gives information on the standard dimension. In our scenario, we don't want to change anything, so let's click Next. This is the preview. Let's preview it again to ensure it is what we looked at before. It is, so let's click Next. Here are the same options as in an instant dimension in terms of setting the dimension to public or private, usable token values, which level the user are able to interact with, and the default value. In our scenario, let's leave everything as default and click Finish. Now our dimension is placed under existing dimension instead of instant dimension. Let's go to Preview and check out our data. When we preview, we now have animal dimension key and animal dimension. The animal dimension key are values that are used as the key for filtering and sorting. And the animal dimension is our user-friendly column. When placing this KPI on a chart, we will see this animal dimension column, while the animal dimension key will be used as the filter value. For more information on what we discussed in this video can be found on our support site, support.dundas.com. Some key articles are shown on the screen now. Please feel free to visit them and read up on the information. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please visit our support site at support.dundas.com or contact us by email or by phone, which are shown on the screen. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for upcoming videos.